Isaac at the well of vision, 1. Esau sells his birthright, 2-7. Isaac goes down to Gerar, 8. Dealings between Isaac and Abimelech, 9-27. Isaac curses the Philistines, 28-32. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham, that the Lord blessed Isaac his son, and he arose from Hebron and went and dwelt at the well of the vision in the first year of the 3rd week of this Jubilee, 7 years. And in the 1st year of the 4th week a famine began in the land, besides the first famine, which had been in the days of Abraham. And Jacob sawed lentil pottage, and Esau came from the field hungry. And he said to Jacob his brother, Give me of this red pottage. And Jacob said to him, Sell to me thy primogeniture, this birthright, and I will give thee bread, and also some of this lentil pottage. And Esau said in his heart, I shall die, of what profit to me is this birthright? And he said to Jacob, I give it to thee. And Jacob said, Swear to me, this day, and he sware unto him. And Jacob gave his brother Esau bread and pottage, and he eat till he was satisfied, and Esau despised his birthright. For this reason was Esau's name called Edom, on account of the red pottage which Jacob gave him for his birthright. And Jacob became the elder, and Esau was brought down from his dignity. And the famine was over the land, and Isaac departed to go down into Egypt in the 2nd year of this week, and went to the king of the Philistines to Gerar, unto Abimelech. And the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land that I shall tell thee of, and sojourn in this land, and I shall be with thee and bless thee. For to thee and to thy seed shall I give all this land, and I shall establish my oath which I sware unto Abraham thy father, and I shall multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and shall give unto thy seed all this land. And in thy seed will all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thy father obeyed my voice, and kept my charge and my commandments, and my laws, and my ordinances, and my covenant, and now obey my voice and dwell in this land. And he dwelt in Gerar 3 weeks of years. And Abimelech charged concerning him, and concerning all that was his, saying, Any man that shall touch him or aught that is his shall surely die. And Isaac waxed strong among the Philistines, and he got many possessions, oxen and sheep and camels and asses and a great household. And he sowed in the land of the Philistines and brought in 100-fold, and Isaac became exceedingly great, and the Philistines envied him. Now all the wells which the servants of Abraham had dug during the life of Abraham, the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence in the 1st year of the 7th week, and sojourned in the valleys of Gerar. And they digged again the wells of water which the servants of Abraham, his father, had digged, and which the Philistines had closed after the death of Abraham his father, and he called their names as Abraham his father had named them. And the servants of Isaac dug a well in the valley, and found living water, and the shepherds of Gerar strove with the shepherds of Isaac, saying, The water is ours, and Isaac called the name of the well, Perversity, because they had been perverse with us. And they dug a 2nd well, and they strove for that also, and he called its name Enmity. And he arose from thence and they digged another well, and for that they strove not, and he called the name of it, Room, and Isaac said, Now the Lord hath made room for us, and we have increased in the land. And he went up from thence to the well of the oath, in the 1st year of the 1st week in the 44th Jubilee. And the Lord appeared to him that night, on the new moon of the 1st month, and said unto him, I am the God of Abraham thy father, fear not, for I am with thee, and shall bless thee and shall surely multiply thy seed as the sand of the earth, for the sake of Abraham my servant. And he built an altar there, which Abraham his father had first built, and he called upon the name of the Lord, and he offered sacrifice to the God of Abraham his father. And they digged a well and they found living water. And the servants of Isaac digged another well and did not find water, and they went and told Isaac that they had not found water, and Isaac said, I have sworn this day to the Philistines, and this thing has been announced to us. And he called the name of that place the Well of the Oath, for there he had sworn to Abimelech and Ahuzzath his friend and Phicol the prefect of his host. And Isaac knew that day that under constraint he had sworn to them to make peace with them. And Isaac on that day cursed the Philistines and said, Cursed be the Philistines unto the day of wrath and indignation from the midst of all nations. May God make them a derision and a curse and an object of wrath and indignation in the hands of the sinners the Gentiles and in the hands of the Kittim. And whoever escapes the sword of the enemy and the Kittim, may the righteous nation root out in judgment from under heaven, for they will be the enemies and foes of my children throughout their generations upon the earth. And no remnant will be left to them, nor one that will be saved on the day of the wrath of judgment. For destruction and rooting out and expulsion from the earth is the whole seed of the Philistines reserved. And there will no longer be left for these Caphtorim a name or a seed on the earth. For though he ascend unto heaven, thence will he be brought down, and though he make himself strong on earth, thence will he be dragged forth. And though he hide himself amongst the nations, even from thence will he be rooted out, and though he descend into Sheol, there also will his condemnation be great. And there also he will have no peace. And if he go into captivity, by the hands of those that seek his life will they slay him on the way, and neither name nor seed will be left to him on all the earth, for into eternal malediction will he depart. And thus is it written and engraved concerning him on the heavenly tables, to do unto him on the day of judgment, so that he may be rooted out of the earth. Rebekah admonishes Jacob not to marry a Canaanitish woman, 1-3. Jacob promises to marry a daughter of Laban despite the urgent requests of Esau that he should marry a Canaanitish woman, 4-10. Rebekah blesses Jacob, 11:23. And in the second year of this week in this Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob her son, and spake unto him, saying, My son, do not take thee a wife of the daughters of Canaan, as Esau, thy brother, who took him 2 wives of the daughters of Canaan, and they have embittered my soul with all their unclean deeds, for all their deeds are fornication and lust, and there is no righteousness with them, for their deeds are evil. And I, my son, love thee exceedingly, and my heart and my affection bless thee every hour of the day and watch of the night. And now, my son, hearken to my voice, and do the will of thy mother, and do not take thee a wife of the daughters of this land, but only of the house of my father, and of my father's kindred. Thou wilt take thee a wife of the house of my father, and the Most High God will bless thee, and thy children will be a righteous generation and a holy seed. And then spake Jacob to Rebekah, his mother, and said unto her, Behold, mother, I am 9 weeks of years old, and I neither know nor have I touched any woman, nor have I betrothed myself to any, nor even think of taking me a wife of the daughters of Canaan. For I remember, mother, the words of Abraham, our father, for he commanded me not to take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, but to take me a wife from the seed of my father's house and from my kindred. I have heard before that daughters have been born to Laban, thy brother, and I have set my heart on them to take a wife from amongst them. And for this reason I have guarded myself in my spirit against sinning or being corrupted in all my ways throughout all the days of my life, for with regard to lust and fornication, Abraham, my father, gave me many commands. And, despite all that he has commanded me, these 22 years my brother has striven with me, and spoken frequently to me and said, My brother, take to wife a sister of my 2 wives, but I refuse to do as he has done. I swear before thee, mother, that all the days of my life I will not take me a wife from the daughters of the seed of Canaan, and I will not act wickedly as my brother has done. Fear not, mother, be assured that I shall do thy will and walk in uprightness, and not corrupt my ways forever. And thereupon she lifted up her face to heaven and extended the fingers of her hands, and opened her mouth and blessed the Most High God, who had created the heaven and the earth, and she gave him thanks and praise. And she said, Blessed be the Lord God, and may his holy name be blessed forever and ever, who has given me Jacob as a pure son and a holy seed, for he is thine, and thine shall his seed be continually and throughout all the generations forevermore. Bless him, O Lord, and place in my mouth the blessing of righteousness, that I may bless him. And at that hour, when the spirit of righteousness descended into her mouth, she placed both her hands on the head of Jacob, and said, Blessed art thou, Lord of righteousness and God of the ages, and may he bless thee beyond all the generations of men. May he give thee, my son, the path of righteousness, and reveal righteousness to thy seed. And may he make thy sons many during thy life, and may they arise according to the number of the months of the year. And may their sons become many and great beyond the stars of heaven, and their numbers be more than the sand of the sea. And may he give them this goodly land as he said he would give it to Abraham and to his seed after him alway, and may they hold it as a possession forever. And may I see born unto thee, my son, blessed children during my life, and a blessed and holy seed may all thy seed be. And as thou hast refreshed thy mother's spirit during my life, the womb of her that bare thee blesses thee. My affection and my breasts bless thee, and my mouth and my tongue praise thee greatly. Increase and spread over the earth. And may thy seed be perfect in the joy of heaven and earth forever. And may thy seed rejoice. And on the great day of peace may it have peace. And may thy name and thy seed endure to all the ages, and may the Most High God be their God, and may the God of righteousness dwell with them, and by them may his sanctuary be built unto all the ages. Blessed be he that blesseth thee, and all flesh that curseth thee falsely may it be cursed. And she kissed him, and said to him, May the Lord of the world love thee as the heart of thy mother and her affection rejoice in thee and bless thee. And she ceased from blessing. 26. Isaac sends Esau for venison, 1-4. Rebekah instructs Jacob to obtain the blessing, 5-9. Jacob under the person of Esau obtains it, 10-24. Esau brings in his venison and by his importunity obtains a blessing, 25-34. Threatens Jacob, 35. And in the 7th year of this week Isaac called Esau, his elder son, and said unto him, I am old, my son, and behold my eyes are dim in seeing, and I know not the day of my death. And now take thy hunting weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field, and hunt and catch me venison, my son, and make me savory meat, such as my soul loveth, and bring it to me that I may eat, and that my soul may bless thee before I die. But Rebekah heard Isaac speaking to Esau. And Esau went forth early to the field to hunt and catch and bring home to his father. And Rebekah called Jacob, her son, and said unto him, Behold, I heard Isaac, thy father, speak unto Esau, thy brother, saying, Hunt for me, and make me savory meat, and bring it to me that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before I die. And now, my son, obey my voice in that which I command thee, go to thy flock and fetch me 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loves, and thou shalt bring it to thy father that he may eat and bless thee before the Lord before he die, and that thou mayst be blessed. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Mother, I shall not withhold anything which my father would eat, and which would please him, only I fear, my mother, that he will recognize my voice and wish to touch me. And thou knowest that I am smooth, and Esau, my brother, is hairy, and I shall appear before his eyes as an evildoer, and shall do a deed which he had not commanded me. And he will be wroth with me, and I shall bring upon myself a curse, and not a blessing. And Rebekah, his mother, said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice. And Jacob obeyed the voice of Rebekah, his mother, and went and fetched 2 good and fat kids of the goats, and brought them to his mother, and his mother made them savory meat such as he loved. And Rebekah took the goodly raiment of Esau, her elder son, which was with her in the house, and she clothed Jacob, her younger son, with them, and she put the skins of the kids upon his hands and on the exposed parts of his neck. And she gave the meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And Jacob went into his father and said, I am thy son, I have done according as thou badest me, arise and sit and eat of that which I have caught, father, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said to his son, How hast thou found so quickly, my son? And Jacob said, Because the Lord thy God caused me to find. And Isaac said unto him, Come near, that I may feel thee, my son, if thou art my son Esau or not. And Jacob went near to Isaac, his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau, and he discerned him not, because it was a dispensation from heaven to remove his power of perception, and Isaac discerned not, for his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's, so that he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my son Esau? And he said, I am thy son, and he said, bring near to me that I may eat of that which thou hast caught, my son, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine and he drank. And Isaac, his father, said unto him, Come near and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and he blessed him and said, Behold, the smell of my son is as the smell of a full field which the Lord hath blessed. And may the Lord give thee of the dew of heaven and of the dew of the earth, and plenty of corn and oil, let nations serve thee. And peoples bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee, and may all the blessings wherewith the Lord hath blessed me and blessed Abraham, my father, be imparted to thee and to thy seed for ever. Cursed be he that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing his son Jacob, and Jacob had gone forth from Isaac his father, he hid himself, and Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. And he also made savory meat, and brought it to his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise, and eat of my venison that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac, his father, said unto him, Who art thou? And he said unto him, I am thy firstborn, thy son Esau, I have done as thou hast commanded me. And Isaac was very greatly astonished, and said, Who is he that hath hunted and caught and brought it to me, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, and he shall be blessed, and all his seed forever. And it came to pass when Esau heard the words of his father Isaac that he cried with an exceeding great and bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, father. And he said unto him, Thy brother came with guile, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Now I know why his name is named Jacob. Behold, he hath supplanted me these 2 times, he took away my birthright, and now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me, father? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with plenty of corn and wine and oil have I strengthened him. And what now shall I do for thee, my son? And Esau said to Isaac, his father, Hast thou but one blessing, father? Bless me, even me also, father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac answered and said unto him, Behold, far from the dew of the earth shall be thy dwelling, and far from the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword wilt thou live, and thou wilt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou becomest great, and dost shake his yoke from off thy neck, thou wilt sin a complete sin unto death, and thy seed will be rooted out from under heaven. And Esau kept threatening Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him, and he said in his heart, May the days of mourning for my father now come, so that I may slay my brother Jacob. Rebekah, alarmed at Esau's threats, prevails on Isaac to send Jacob to Mesopotamia. 1-12. Isaac comforts Rebekah on the departure of Jacob. 13-18. Jacob's dream and vow at Bethel. 19-27. And the words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah in a dream, and Rebekah sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, Esau thy brother will take vengeance on thee so as to kill thee. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise and flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until thy brother's anger turns away, and he remove his anger from thee, and forget all that thou hast done, then I will send and fetch thee from thence. And Jacob said, I am not afraid, if he wishes to kill me, I will kill him. But she said unto him, Let me not be bereft of both my sons on one day. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, thou knowest that my father has become old, and does not see because his eyes are dull, and if I leave him it will be evil in his eyes, because I leave him and go away from you, and my father will be angry, and will curse me. I will not go. When he sends me, then only will I go. And Rebekah said to Jacob, I will go in and speak to him, and he will send thee away. And Rebekah went in and said to Isaac, I loathe my life because of the 2 daughters of Heth, whom Esau has taken him as wives, and if Jacob take a wife from among the daughters of the land such as these, for what purpose do I further live, for the daughters of Canaan are evil. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him, and admonished him and said unto him, Do not take thee a wife of any of the daughters of Canaan, arise and go to Mesopotamia, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. And God Almighty bless thee and increase and multiply thee that thou mayest become a company of nations, and give thee the blessings of my father Abraham, to thee and to thy seed after thee, that thou mayest inherit the land of thy sojournings and all the land which God gave to Abraham. Go, my son, in peace. And Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Mesopotamia, to Laban the son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's mother. And it came to pass after Jacob had arisen to go to Mesopotamia that the spirit of Rebekah was grieved after her son, and she wept. And Isaac said to Rebekah, My sister, weep not on account of Jacob, my son, for he goeth in peace, and in peace will he return. The Most High God will preserve him from all evil, and will be with him, for he will not forsake him all his days. For I know that his ways will be prospered in all things wherever he goes, until he return in peace to us, and we see him in peace. Fear not on his account, my sister, for he is on the upright path and he is a perfect man, and he is faithful and will not perish. Weep not. And Isaac comforted Rebekah on account of her son Jacob, and blessed him. And Jacob went from the well of the oath to go to Haran on the 1st year of the 2nd week in the 44th Jubilee, and he came to Luz on the mountains, that is, Bethel, on the new moon of the 1st month of this week, and he came to the place at even and turned from the way to the west of the road that night, and he slept there, for the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place and laid it at his head under the tree, and he was journeying alone, and he slept. And he dreamt that night, and behold a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of the Lord ascended and descended on it, and behold, the Lord stood upon it. And he spake to Jacob and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou art sleeping, to thee shall I give it, and to thy seed after thee, and thy seed will be as the dust of the earth, and thou wilt increase to the west and to the east, to the north and the south, and in thee and in thy seed will all the families of the nations be blessed. And behold, I shall be with thee, and shall keep thee whithersoever thou goest, and I shall bring thee again into this land in peace, for I shall not leave thee until I do everything that I told thee of. And Jacob awoke from his sleep, and said, Truly this place is the house of the Lord, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, Dreadful is this place which is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob arose early in the morning, and took the stone which he had put under his head and set it up as a pillar for a sign, and he poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of the place was Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow unto the Lord, saying, If the Lord will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God, and this stone which I have set up as a pillar for a sign in this place, shall be the Lord's house, and of all that thou givest me, I shall give the 10th to thee, my God. Jacob marries Leah and Rachel, 1-10. His children by Leah and Rachel and by their handmaids, 11-24. Jacob seeks to leave Laban, 25. But stays on at a certain wage, 26-28. Jacob becomes rich, 29-30. And he went on his journey, and came to the land of the east, to Laban, the brother of Rebekah, and he was with him, and served him for Rachel his daughter 1. And in the 1st year of the 3rd week he said unto him, Give me my wife, for whom I have served thee 7 years, and Laban said unto Jacob, I will give thee thy wife. And Laban made a feast, and took Leah his elder daughter, and gave her to Jacob as a wife, and gave her Zilpah his handmaid for an handmaid, and Jacob did not know, for he thought that she was Rachel. And he went in unto her, and behold, she was Leah, and Jacob was angry with Laban, and said unto him, Why hast thou dealt thus with me? Did not I serve thee for Rachel and not for Leah? Why hast thou wronged me? Take thy daughter, and I will go, for thou hast done evil to me. For Jacob loved Rachel more than Leah, for Leah's eyes were weak, but her form was very handsome. But Rachel had beautiful eyes and a beautiful and very handsome form. And Laban said to Jacob, it is not so done in our country, to give the younger before the elder. And it is not right to do this, for thus it is ordained and written in the heavenly tables, that no one should give his younger daughter before the elder, but the elder one gives first and after her the younger, and the man who does so, they set down guilt against him in heaven, and none is righteous that does this thing, for this deed is evil before the Lord. And command thou the children of Israel that they do not this thing, let them neither take nor give the younger before they have given the elder, for it is very wicked. And Laban said to Jacob, Let the 7 days of the feast of this one pass by, and I shall give thee Rachel, that thou mayst serve me another 7 years, that thou mayst pasture my sheep as thou didst in the former week. And on the day when the 7 days of the feast of Leah had passed, Laban gave Rachel to Jacob, that he might serve him another 7 years, and he gave to Rachel Bilhah, the sister of Zilpah, as a handmaid. And he served yet other 7 years for Rachel, for Leah had been given to him for nothing. And the Lord opened the womb of Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob a son, and he called his name Reuben, on the 14th day of the 9th month, in the 1st year of the 3rd week. But the womb of Rachel was closed, for the Lord saw that Leah was hated and Rachel loved. And again Jacob went in unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob a second son, and he called his name Simeon, on the 21st of the 10th month, and in the 3rd year of this week. And again Jacob went in unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare him a third son, and he called his name Levi, in the new moon of the 1st month in the 6th year of this week. And again Jacob went in unto her, and she conceived, and bare him a fourth son, and he called his name Judah, on the 15th of the 3rd month, in the 1st year of the 4th week. And on account of all this Rachel envied Leah, for she did not bear, and she said to Jacob, Give me children, and Jacob said, Have I withheld from thee the fruits of thy womb? Have I forsaken thee? And when Rachel saw that Leah had borne 4 sons to Jacob, Reuben and Simeon and Levi and Judah, she said unto him, Go in unto Bilhah my handmaid, and she will conceive, and bear a son unto me. And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife. And he went in unto her, and she conceived, and bare him a son, and he called his name Dan, on the 9th of the 6th month, in the 6th year of the 3rd week. And Jacob went in again unto Bilhah a second time, and she conceived, and bare Jacob another son, and Rachel called his name Naphtali, on the 5th of the 7th month, in the 2nd year of the 4th week. And when Leah saw that she had become sterile and did not bear, she envied Rachel, and she also gave her handmaid Zilpah to Jacob to wife, and she conceived, and bare a son, and Leah called his name Gad, on the 12th of the 8th month, in the 3rd year of the 4th week. And he went in again unto her, and she conceived, and bare him a second son, and Leah called his name Asher, on the 2nd of the 11th month, in the 5th year of the 4th week. And Jacob went in unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare a son, and she called his name Issachar, on the 4th of the 5th month, in the 4th year of the 4th week, and she gave him to a nurse. And Jacob went in again unto her, and she conceived, and bare 2 children, a son and a daughter, and she called the name of the son Zebulun, and the name of the daughter Dinah, in the 7th of the 7th month, in the 6th year of the 4th week. And the Lord was gracious to Rachel, and opened her womb, and she conceived, and bare a son, and she called his name Joseph, on the new moon of the 4th month, in the 6th year in this 4th week. And in the days when Joseph was born, Jacob said to Laban, Give me my wives and sons, and let me go to my father Isaac, and let me make me an house, for I have completed the years in which I have served thee for thy 2 daughters, and I will go to the house of my father. And Laban said to Jacob, Tarry with me for thy wages, and pasture my flock for me again, and take thy wages. And they agreed with one another that he should give him as his wages those of the lambs and kids which were born black and spotted and white, these were to be his wages. And all the sheep brought forth spotted and speckled and black, variously marked, and they brought forth again lambs like themselves, and all that were spotted were Jacob's, and those which were not were Laban's. And Jacob's possessions multiplied exceedingly, and he possessed oxen and sheep and asses and camels, and menservants and maidservants. And Laban and his sons envied Jacob, and Laban took back his sheep from him, and he observed him with evil intent. Jacob departs secretly, 1-4. Laban pursues after him, 5-6. Covenant of Jacob and Laban, 7-8. Abodes of the Amorites anciently of the Rephaim destroyed in the time of the writer, 9-11. Laban departs, 12. Jacob is reconciled to Esau, 13. Jacob sends supplies of food to his parents 4 times a year to Hebron, 14-17, 19-20. Esau marries again, 18. And it came to pass when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Laban went to shear his sheep, for they were distant from him a 3 days' journey. And Jacob saw that Laban was going to shear his sheep, and Jacob called Leah and Rachel, and spake kindly unto them that they should come with him to the land of Canaan. For he told them how he had seen everything in a dream, even all that he had spoken unto him that he should return to his father's house, and they said, To every place whither thou goest we will go with thee. And Jacob blessed the God of Isaac his father, and the God of Abraham his father's father, and he arose and mounted his wives and his children, and took all his possessions and crossed the river, and came to the land of Gilead, and Jacob hid his intention from Laban and told him not. And in the 7th year of the 4th week Jacob turned his face toward Gilead in the 1st month, on the 21st thereof. And Laban pursued after him and overtook Jacob in the mountain of Gilead in the 3rd month, on the 13th thereof. And the Lord did not suffer him to injure Jacob, for he appeared to him in a dream by night. And Laban spake to Jacob. And on the 15th of those days Jacob made a feast for Laban, and for all who came with him, and Jacob sware to Laban that day, and Laban also to Jacob, that neither should cross the mountain of Gilead to the other with evil purpose. And he made there a heap for a witness, wherefore the name of that place is called, the heap of witness, after this heap. But before they used to call the land of Gilead the land of the Rephaim, for it was the land of the Rephaim, and the Rephaim were born there, giants whose height was 10, 9, 8 down to 7 cubits. And their habitation was from the land of the children of Ammon to Mount Hermon, and the seats of their kingdom were Karnaim and Ashtaroth, and Edrei, and Misr, and Beon. And the Lord destroyed them because of the evil of their deeds, for they were very malignant, and the Amorites dwelt in their stead, wicked and sinful, and there is no people today which has wrought to the full all their sins, and they have no longer length of life on the earth. And Jacob sent away Laban, and he departed into Mesopotamia, the land of the east, and Jacob returned to the Lod of Gilead. And he passed over the Jabbok in the 9th month, on the 11th thereof. And on that day Esau, his brother, came to him, and he was reconciled to him, and departed from him unto the land of Seir, but Jacob dwelt in tents. And in the 1st year of the 5th week in this Jubilee he crossed the Jordan, and dwelt beyond the Jordan, and he pastured his sheep from the sea of the heap unto Bethshan, and unto Dothan and unto the forest of Akrabim. And he sent to his father Isaac of all his substance, clothing, and food, and meat, and drink, and milk, and butter, and cheese, and some dates of the valley. And to his mother Rebekah also 4 times a year, between the times of the months, between plowing and reaping, and between autumn and the rain season and between winter and spring, to the tower of Abraham. For Isaac had returned from the well of the oath and gone up to the tower of his father Abraham, and he dwelt there apart from his son Esau. For in the days when Jacob went to Mesopotamia, Esau took to himself a wife Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, and he gathered together all the flocks of his father and his wives, and went up and dwelt on Mount Seir, and left Isaac his father at the well of the oath alone. And Isaac went up from the well of the oath and dwelt in the tower of Abraham his father on the mountains of Hebron. And thither Jacob sent all that he did send to his father and his mother from time to time, all they needed, and they blessed Jacob with all their heart and with all their soul. Dinah ravished, 1-3. Slaughter of the Shechemites, 4-6. Laws against intermarriage between Israel and the heathen, 7-17. Levi chosen for the priesthood on account of his slaughter of the Shechemites, 18-23. Dinah recovered, 24. Jacob's reproof, 25-26. And in the 1st year of the 6th week he went up to Salem, to the east of Shechem, in peace, in the 4th month. And there they carried off Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, into the house of Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, the prince of the land, and he lay with her and defiled her, and she was a little girl, a child of 12 years. And he besought his father and her brothers that she might be given to him to wife. And Jacob and his sons were wroth because of the men of Shechem, for they had defiled Dinah, their sister, and they spake to them with evil intent and dealt deceitfully with them and beguiled them. And Simeon and Levi came unexpectedly to Shechem and executed judgment on all the men of Shechem, and slew all the men whom they found in it, and left not a single one remaining in it. They slew all in torments because they had dishonored their sister Dinah. And thus let it not again be done from henceforth that a daughter of Israel be defiled, for judgment is ordained in heaven against them that they should destroy with the sword all the men of the Shechemites because they had wrought shame in Israel. And the Lord delivered them into the hands of the sons of Jacob that they might exterminate them with the sword and execute judgment upon them, and that it might not thus again be done in Israel that a virgin of Israel should be defiled. And if there is any man who wishes in Israel to give his daughter or his sister to any man who is of the seed of the Gentiles, he shall surely die, and they shall stone him with stones, for he hath wrought shame in Israel, and they shall burn the woman with fire, because she has dishonored the name of the house of her father, and she shall be rooted out of Israel. And let not an adulteress and no uncleanness be found in Israel throughout all the days of the generations of the earth, for Israel is holy unto the Lord, and every man who has defiled it shall surely die, they shall stone him with stones. For thus has it been ordained and written in the heavenly tables regarding all the seed of Israel, he who defileth shall surely die, and he shall be stoned with stones. And to this law there is no limit of days, and no remission, nor any atonement, but the man who has defiled his daughter shall be rooted out in the midst of all Israel, because he has given of his seed to Moloch, and wrought impiously so as to defile it. And do thou, Moses, command the children of Israel and exhort them not to give their daughters to the Gentiles, and not to take for their sons any of the daughters of the Gentiles, for this is abominable before the Lord. For this reason I have written for thee in the words of the law all the deeds of the Shechemites, which they wrought against Dinah, and how the sons of Jacob spake, saying, We shall not give our daughter to a man who is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. And it is a reproach to Israel, to those who give, and to those who take the daughters of the Gentiles, for this is unclean and abominable to Israel. And Israel will not be free from this uncleanness if it has a wife of the daughters of the Gentiles, or has given any of its daughters to a man who is of any of the Gentiles. For there will be plague upon plague, and curse upon curse, and every judgment and plague and curse will come upon him, if he do this thing, or hide his eyes from those who commit uncleanness, or those who defile the sanctuary of the Lord, or those who profane his holy name, then will the whole nation together be judged for all the uncleanness and profanation of this man. And there will be no respect of persons and no consideration of persons, and no receiving at his hands of fruits and offerings and burnt offerings and fat, nor the fragrance of sweet savor, so as to accept it, and so fare every man or woman in Israel who defiles the sanctuary. For this reason I have commanded thee, saying, Testify this testimony to Israel. See how the Shechemites fared and their sons, how they were delivered into the hands of 2 sons of Jacob, and they slew them under tortures, and it was reckoned unto them for righteousness, and it is written down to them for righteousness. And the seed of Levi was chosen for the priesthood, and to be Levites, that they might minister before the Lord, as we, continually, and that Levi and his sons may be blessed forever, for he was zealous to execute righteousness and judgment and vengeance on all those who arose against Israel. And so they inscribe as a testimony in his favor on the heavenly tables blessing and righteousness before the God of all. And we remember the righteousness which the man fulfilled during his life, at all periods of the year, until 1,000 generations they will record it, and it will come to him and to his descendants after him, and he has been recorded on the heavenly tables as a friend and a righteous man. All this account I have written for thee, and have commanded thee to say to the children of Israel, that they should not commit sin nor transgress the ordinances nor break the covenant which has been ordained for them, but that they should fulfill it and be recorded as friends. But if they transgress and work uncleanness in every way, they will be recorded on the heavenly tables as adversaries, and they will be destroyed out of the book of life, and they will be recorded in the book of those who will be destroyed and with those who will be rooted out of the earth. And on the day when the sons of Jacob slew Shechem, a writing was recorded in their favor in heaven that they had executed righteousness and uprightness and vengeance on the sinners, and it was written for a blessing. And they brought Dinah, their sister, out of the house of Shechem, and they took captive everything that was in Shechem, their sheep and their oxen and their asses, and all their wealth, and all their flocks, and brought them all to Jacob their father. And he reproached them because they had put the city to the sword, for he feared those who dwelt in the land, the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And the dread of the Lord was upon all the cities which are around about Shechem, and they did not rise to pursue after the sons of Jacob, for terror had fallen upon them.